There was a time when childhood happened mostly out of sight. Children left the house in the morning or afternoon and returned hours later, often without anyone knowing exactly where they had been. Parents did not track locations, phones did not exist in pockets, and check-ins were rare. Freedom was not a special privilege. It was simply how growing up worked. Without constant supervision, children learned to navigate their surroundings on their own. Neighborhood streets, empty lots, parks, and sidewalks became spaces of exploration. Decisions were made in real time without adult input. Which direction to go, how far to wander, when to head home. These choices were small, but repeated daily, and they gradually built a quiet sense of competence. The world felt large, but it also felt reachable. Communication moved slowly in that environment. If plans changed, there was no instant message to correct them. If a child was late, there was uncertainty. That uncertainty required trust on both sides. Parents trusted children to manage themselves, and children learned to manage time and movement independently. The absence of immediate contact created room for self-navigation, something that later generations rarely experienced in the same way. Learning also happened without constant adult mediation. Disagreements with friends were handled among peers. Minor risks were encountered directly rather than prevented in advance. Children tested limits, misjudged situations, and adjusted through experience. This trial and error process built practical awareness. Consequences were felt personally, not explained beforehand. What defined that era was not neglect, but distance. Adults were present in life, but not continuously present in moments. That space allowed children to experience autonomy before they fully understood it. Growing up without supervision meant learning how to move through the world before anyone was watching closely enough to guide every step. How it shaped the mind. Growing up with that level of freedom did more than fill time. It shaped how children understood themselves in relation to the world. When decisions were made independently, even small ones, children experienced a direct link between choice and outcome. If something worked, it was because they tried it. If it failed, they adjusted. This repeated loop quietly built self-reliance. Confidence was not taught as an idea. It formed through practice. Unstructured time also played a central role. Without constant entertainment or scheduled oversight, boredom appeared often. Yet boredom in that environment did not remain empty for long. Children invented games, stories, and challenges using whatever was available. Attention stretched naturally because stimulation did not arrive instantly. Imagination filled the gaps where structure was absent. Over time, this strengthened creative thinking and sustained focus. Another less visible influence was privacy. Mistakes, awkward phases, and experimentation happened without an audience. Social learning unfolded among peers rather than in front of observers. Children could try identities, fail socially, recover, and move forward without permanent record. This allowed identity to develop internally rather than through constant feedback. Validation came from experience and interaction, not from external approval. Even risk perception developed differently. Children encountered manageable dangers firsthand. Heights, speed, distance, and boundaries were understood through direct experience rather than warnings alone. This did not remove fear, but it calibrated it. The world was not entirely safe, yet it was navigable. That perception fostered resilience and environmental awareness that felt embodied rather than theoretical. These psychological effects were rarely visible at the time. They emerged gradually through repetition. Freedom practiced daily became competence felt internally, shaping how those children later approached uncertainty, independence, and solitude as adults. The contrast with connected childhoods. As technology advanced, the structure of childhood changed in ways that were subtle but profound. Connectivity introduced safety and convenience, but it also reduced the distance that once existed between children and constant oversight. Phones, GPS tracking, and instant communication made it possible for parents to know where a child was at nearly every moment. Supervision became continuous rather than occasional, and autonomy often shifted from expectation to risk. This visibility altered how independence developed. When movement is monitored and decisions are frequently guided, opportunities for self-navigation naturally decrease. Children may still explore, but exploration happens within clearer boundaries. Mistakes are often intercepted earlier, and uncertainty is resolved quickly through contact. While this increases safety, it can also delay experiences that once built confidence through trial and adjustment. Digital environments also changed social experience. Interactions began to leave records, and identity formation increasingly unfolded in visible spaces. Feedback expanded beyond immediate peers into broader audiences. This created new forms of awareness about how one is perceived. Experimentation, once private and temporary, could now feel permanent. The psychological effect is not simply more connection, but more observation. For those who grew up before this shift, the contrast can feel significant. Early freedom often translates into comfort with solitude, tolerance for uncertainty, and familiarity with navigating environments independently. Those traits do not imply superiority, only difference. Connected childhoods bring their own strengths, including information access and safety. Yet something subtle was exchanged: distance for immediacy and unobserved experience for constant availability. What remains from unsupervised childhood is not just memory, but an internal reference point. It is the sense of having once moved through the world without continuous visibility, learning directly from it before it was fully mediated. That experience continues to shape how independence feels long after childhood ends. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos.